Yo. 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 Yo, yo, yo. How you guys doing? All right, let me get this up. Bang, bang. Boom. Steve, what's up, buddy? Did you think about the Super Bowl? Anyone who says the World Cup's better than the Super Bowl is telling the truth. I mean, I like American football. It's just, man, it's just so mid, dude. Like, it's not the actual sport. It's just it's basically commercials and advertisement. Kel, I forgot how peak American football is. I mean, it's great. It's great entertainment, but I just want to sit there and watch a sport uninterrupted. Jeez, I couldn't get that one out. Yeah. I can't wait to see how the World Cup gets Americanized, though. I can't wait for the pre-match, during the match interviews that will go on. Messi, your Argentina team is down by 2 goals at half. How do you guys plan to turn it around? Result you weren't a fan of? I was really hoping Seattle would have left them scoreless so that we could make clean sheet memes. How do you sit there and watch a whole sport and there's no scoring? Interesting. Weird. Weird how that works. Bargo, what's up, buddy? I'm a massive rugby fan, though, so there's big enough similarities. Yeah. Like I said, it's a fun sport. I've gotten more into it the past few years. I used to only really watch actual football. But yeah. It's good. I mean, the whole offensive line in general is just that. The one thing about NFL and a lot of teams and their salary caps and stuff like that is there's always positions exposed. Like, you can have a insanely good quarterback like you see Drake May is going to be, but if he has no offensive line, it's like, how valuable is having a great quarterback? So you really got to balance the team out. Yeah, dude, every time. How you guys doing? Welcome to the stream. Hopefully you guys are doing good. A lot of people are kind of done grinding for future stars. I don't blame you guys. Do you follow college b-ball at all? My Tar Heels had an insane upset over Duke. Dude, it's crazy that you say you're a Tar Heels fan because you just said Tar Heels an upset. In my head, I'm still thinking it's like the 2010s. And Duke and the Tar Heels are like 2 of the best teams. It's crazy to hear that's an upset. But yeah. Drake figured it out too late. He had figured it out in the quarter 4. If he did that like 10 minutes before, there could have been an insane comeback. I mean, to a certain extent, yeah. I think also, too, the way Seattle played in the second half, keeping the ball in play as much as possible, especially those kind of deep over the middle throws, they'll give Drake that the rest of the game, because realistically, especially when it got to the fourth quarter, if you make a play for 20-30 yards up the middle and it keeps the clock running with 5 or so minutes left, you'd take that over most plays. Also, too, if Drake then feels comfortable enough throwing those, he's going to put it in coverage enough times where one's going to get intercepted, which then ended up happening. But how are we feeling about Ultimate Team right now, boys? I know actual football is a lot of fun. We had the Super Bowl last night for American football. I'm enjoying it, but I feel like I'm not needing to grind as hard. It's a weird thing. When everyone has the ability to grind now, when the grind doesn't feel as crazy as Team of the Year and a little bit more straightforward, it's now coming down to, like, what can you really accomplish? And for me, that's going to be doing a big old PP. We want an icon PP now. As an Ontario fan, it was wild to see Duke win and then watch Drake May in the Super Bowl. Yeah, he's going to be so good. I have him as my second quarterback in fantasy football. I have him, Lamar. Spent $500K for the icon packs half an hour before it refreshed today. Dang. Get anything? Yeah, and that was my point too, is like, Seattle's going to give up a bunch of those throws. If they can eat 2 or 3 minutes off the clock by giving up a few 10 to 20 yard throws and protecting the end zone, even a score there is going to be a better outcome than short slants, out of bounds, few seconds off, 8 yards, few seconds off, 8 yards. Still grinding like crazy. Want to do all the 88 plus icon packs? Yeah, that's what I'm grinding for right now. We're going to probably do one today. I didn't put in the title because I don't know if we'll get it completed today. Also, I have to look to see when they refresh. It just refreshed today, right? If so, we should be able to get it done. Double walkout, and this man got Cruyff and Chloe. W. What was that in, man? They refresh in 2 days? Okay, so if we don't finish today, we can do it tomorrow. Stop playing, to be honest. I just can't. I've been looking at some of the Evos. I've been grinding Evos in Squad Battles gameplay, but like the tokens, man. If I'm going to be doing icon related things in the swaps or pack related things in the swaps, the amount of time and stress to go through gameplay, I might as well just do League SBCs for even better fodder in a faster amount of time. I don't know if anyone else feels that way, but it's like, I feel like I have no need for R9. I mean, when you have a front line of, if you have a team of what we have, not even front line, we have Eusebio, Mbappe, Dino, Pina, Messi. I think we're chilling. If you missed it, we got Mbappe out of the 8310 the other day, as I was talking crap about the 8310s. Bella, how's it going? So as I was talking crap about the daily repeatables for a limited time during Team of the Year, I got Pina out of it. Then as I talk crap about the 8310s, I got Mbappe out of it. So as long as I keep talking crap about EA, we're in a good spot, boys. Still can't believe you got Spaceship Mbappe. Alright, let's go to Paletta. Carlos! The heck is Mbappe doing there? We packed him. So we gotta flex him. Alright, one sec, chat. Let's get this popped open. Save us all like an hour. Okay. What's a good amount of premiums to do a day? By premiums, you mean premium mixed league, right? Do better than yourself. If you've only ever done 5 in a day, do 6. Do 7. Do 8. I could, if I really want to, easily do 25 plus a day. But it really depends on what your goals are, what you've done before, how much time you have. Oh yeah, I forgot. We have an 83-11 tradable, 81-7 tradable, 79-10 tradable. Got a bunch of random packs. I think some were squad battles, then maybe some were season pass. Never in your packs. Alright, let's rip through these two. Is 50 a lot? 50 is a ton, but if you're able to set it up, it's doable. I would say the thing that would slow you down with Pale Tools, and even I'm noticing it now, even though the player pick's amazing, the issue with the player pick in general is this is the thing that gets me SBC banned. So if you're purposely doing no player picks on here and just doing League SBCs, I think that's the way to do it. Alright, so here's what we're going to do. We're going to do max of 82, 3 rares. Actually, no, let's start with, was it commons? Yeah, we did commons. Low to high, and then we did just however many rares we can get in. That way if it goes off of, oh, don't need those. Once we run out of commons, it'll then just go to all rares. Which I guess we could just put 6. Low high, low high. Have the picks been good? We're going to test a bunch today. The picks last week were insane. I could have just used the 80 plus PP, couldn't I have? It's the same requirements. One PP. Alright. What's the requirements? 6 golds, 3 rare. Your problem is softband when buying players? Which players are you getting softband while buying? Which section? 2, 3, 4. Alright, boys, here's a group of 5 player picks. We'll start with this. 83. 84. 82. Another 83. And 86. W. Alright, let's make room, because now we're going to have normally buying a League 1 Eredivisie, Portugal. Okay, so what I want you to start doing is start doing gold common League 1 bidding. If you want to do silver rare Eredivisie the same way, do it on console, PS4, PS5, or whatever's not Pale Tools, because I think you're PC, right? If you're PC, do it on your PC version. Do your bidding on there. Don't pull them. Just store them in your club when you get back on Pale Tools. You'll constantly have 50 plus that you can pull from there. And then you don't have to do any bidding or anything on console. Or on Pale Tools. You can keep all that to Pro League, Portuguese League. That should limit the amount of SBC bans you get. Dude, what is going on? They don't want me doing anything. And if you're not doing any special card trading or you have room on your transfer list, you can chuck a bunch of stuff onto there too. And that'd work as well. Wait, does that actually work? Switching browsers? I've never done that before. Is that the new strat? Yeah, because essentially think of it this way. Pro League, Portuguese League, you probably want to fill up your club with as many as you can for the ones you already don't have, and you don't want to deal with it. Where a lot of dupes doesn't make sense. But when it comes to the League One and Eredivisie, if you're using, let's say, Silver Rare Eredivisie and you're doing a bunch of 300 bids out of the 50 cards there, whether you throw them on your transfer list or you just keep them there and then you store them in your club on Pale Tools, same thing with League One. The beauty in that is even if you're not packing them, which you will guaranteed pack a ton of them, and you won't even have to use a bunch of your supply on those first few runs, it'll end up balancing each other out where you're only using partial of it. But what will end up happening is you'll use so many of the League One golds that you're bidding on that they'll constantly be able to be put back into your club, and you can constantly keep bidding then. Or, even better yet, if you want to min-max even harder, get enough to do... How many total Pro League and Portuguese League cards are in the club? Maybe don't treat it as like runs of 50, but if you wanted to treat it as runs of 25... Like, do your Pale Tools buy nows until you have 25 runs, whether that's 25 plus in a day, whether you want to build that throughout a weekend to get ready for the week when you're not going to be around as much. Get your club as filled as you can with that because you'll constantly pack more anyways. And then just always be bidding on more League One Eredivisie. And constantly be stockpiling those too. That could be a good middle ground. Yo, thank you for the sub. Appreciate it. All right, let's do... Like you see here, we have a bunch of rares that aren't the Eredivisie rares. The Eredivisie rares are the ones tradable that I've been putting into my club. So, we'll be overkill on a first few. But the rest is just additional stuff that we chucked in. Striker... That works. Yeah, I would view it as similar. Have you ever seen our video on how to maximize your time on Pale Tools for 25 plus mixed runs a day? Have you seen that video? Where we kind of show what we do with our transfer target, transfer lists, our club. I would say almost treat it identical to that. One, two, three. Think so? Weren't you talking about how you store one league in unassigned and one in transfers? Yeah, we do transfer target space, we do unlimited unassigned, and we do transfer lists. And you could technically do, if you had, for example, let's say you did your daily winter provisions. Let's say you already have been club stocking and you just spammed through a bunch of packs. You might be in a space where you don't need a single other card outside of packs to do like 5 to 10 runs of the Prem La Liga, Bundesliga, Serie A sections. Let's say those are completely covered by the untradables you already have in your club. And if you already have basically 25 runs ready to go for the Pro League, Portuguese League, the one thing you might be a little quote-unquote lower on is League One and Eredivisie. And if that's the case, you could do the thing where you go unassigned on one group of those. If it's the League One Golds, then you fill the transfer list with Silver Rare, Eredivisie. You could do that. if you want Pro League, Portuguese League to be your unassigned, you could do that. And even if they were dupes, if you're constantly pulling from your unassigned pile rather than what's in your club, it'll constantly eat those up too. So there's different ways you can go about it. You could also have Pro League, Portuguese Leagues put on your transfer targets and always pull from there, even if you are low in your club. All right, did we put... Need one more rare. 79, 79. Boom. All right. Let's see. Bunch of space now. More daily golds. More prime golds. And our small rare golds are working back towards 1,500 again. Not even because we're trying to purposely save to 1,500. They're just organically doing that themselves, which is cool. But if you notice, we now have basically 100 tradable packs almost. Those are slowly starting to build up as well that we need to address. All right, winter provisions. How are we doing on 85s? I have to check those. You guys think United's going to get their 5th straight win tomorrow? You think the haircut's going to finally happen? Ooh, we almost got all of them right off the rip done. That would have been sick. Two, three. Okay, so pay attention to these gold rares. We're now officially out. And what will happen over time is I'll probably have way more rares than commons. And you'll notice I can make, like last week, groups of player picks where it's mainly just gold rares. But if those are the things we're constantly filling up our dupe storage with, is rare off leagues, you reach a point where it really doesn't matter if it's a rare or common. You got Lam, Lineker, so you're in the pick, bro. Sounds like you're ungrateful, man. Sounds like great fodder. Boom, 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 boom. All right, a few more PPs. Now I got to be careful. I was just saying before how the player picks are going to be the thing getting me SBC, man. They can't pack Spaceship Mbappe. Hey, you just need to suck up to EA enough, guys. A lot of you think you have what it takes to get crazy pulls. No. Just got to suck up to EA, man. Once you realize that, life becomes a lot easier. All right, what do we need? I think 86 gets us there. We have dupe Tonali's. Perfect. All right, so the 8310s are done. We can go back to console to open those. Does that make space in our SBC storage? No, we have a walkout problem, which is a good problem to have. Then a low-end dupe player pick problem. Okay, so we're going to do this before we go back to console. Let's take silvers and bronzes that are on our dupe storage. Let's get rid of those, even if they're a League SBC card. Just to make some more room. Otherwise, we're inevitably going to run into the same problem all the time. So we'll just make one there. The silver one. Put one in here. Maybe two. Do we need two? Dang. Okay, how much room did that make? 72 we're down to now. You see how much room? You have way more in your club than you think. So what we could now do is we could do just the lower end gold rares and commons. Even if it's a League SBC card, put those into player picks. And then spam another group of packs. Get the 86 doubles done. Get more fodder. Finish the winter provisions. And then go to console and open all that up together. I like the sound of that. So we're not going to care if it's a rare. It's an important league or not. We're going to try to mix in the rares and commons. We'll see how well we can do this. I'm not sucking up to He Sports. Hey. It's addicting once your pack weight starts hitting. When you realize the better you talk to EA, the better they treat you. It's a win-win. Until you start talking crap about them and they think you're no longer on the payroll, and then they give you even better luck to keep you around. It's beautiful, man. Yeah, you can do additional League SBC runs with these cards. I'm personally a fan of whether you want to do... I mean, still, I'll make the same comment I did with player picks last week. Crafting upgrades are the better way to go in terms of the amount of cards back and recycle. But as player picks get better and better with the rating, and just in general with... I feel like player picks are more fun than crafting upgrades. I'd be fine being a little bit more wasteful. I don't even think it's wasteful, to be honest. Alright, then we have probably 282s we could put in. Chuck in 183. Why not? All right. There we go. Another player pick made. We're down to 42 storage, so we got a ton of room now. 5 more player picks. We got Timber. Caruso. Just wait till we get exchanges. We get to like this time of year with exchanges. Hey, there we go. Future star, baby. McGlynn. Future American legend. Absolute baller. We'll add that to the board once we get back to console. All right, we'll save those up. We got winter provisions. We can span through some of those. Prime gold. Brilliant. Brilliant. Small prime gold. Another 88. Let's go. You just see how fast the fodder comes back to the account, man. See how fast the dailies get done, too. It just all kind of falls in line. That American future star must have good shooting. Why do you say that? Why would one assume? Because he's American. Explain that joke, Sharky. All right, we'll do a few more PPs. Boom. Another 83. Another 84. Another 84. Let's go. Now I think we have pre-built squads for this. Oh, we don't have Team of the Weeks included. If I speak, I'm in big trouble. If I speak. Alright, we can still do... Ooh, we're short 83s. That's not good. We'll get them in the 8310. Alright, console time, boys. Y'all ready for the craziest pull you'll ever see? We're going to get a dupe Mbappe. Calling it right now. All right. Come on, EA. Are these 8310s any good? Please. Oh, future star. Cold. Who is it? Dupe American that we just got. Let's go. Dupe theory in full effect, baby. Got to put the count already to 20. See, Ronaldo too. No Messi though. That's wild. All right, come on, EA. Walk out. Oh? O-Block behind him? I always forget what O-Block's rated. Is he 86 this year? No, he's an 88. Never mind. W! These are class. Team of the Shave, Mbappe incoming. All right, EA. Final 83-10. Bless me. Okay, we got at least one walkout. That's good news. Will it be the only one, though? That's the real question. Oh? No, it's Mr. Rodri. Let's go. Fodder FC. You love to see it. Come on, baby. Cold. Cold, boys. How many Prime Electrum packs do you reckon it would take to make 1 million? I'm stacking them up. So let's go over a few factors with those. What would you guys say if you opened one up right now? What's the average quick sale value in those? Because gold rares still have value. So there's value in the price of those to consider. The silvers, I mean, you could quick sell everything, but you also have League SBC cards that you can put back in, which will make you more runs and get you even more coins. But on average, if you saved up, let's say you had 100 of them. If you had 100 of the Prime Electrum packs, 300k, 400k maybe, minimum, you could expect. So if you're trying to get closer to 1 million without like crazy pack pulls, maybe higher than that. The things I would consider the most of, though, would be the price of gold rares, the price of walkouts, promo cards, all that stuff. Because you'd want to make sure that you're not just like quick selling to get through all your packs. If you save up a few 100, you will want to take the time to list the gold rares. All right, can we start an Encore pack? Let me double check to make sure. Yeah, 1 day, 19 hours. We can get started with this one. Irene. Go. There's an 88 squad. Is the premium mix unlimited if you buy out the League One in Portugal section? Yes. You got to continue calculating the value of what you're spending if you're trying to make coins on it too. But even if you're spending in other sections, it's so cheap on the Pro League Portuguese League that one, if you account that factor in, you could basically buy out a majority of other stuff. Not counting the stuff that you already get back consistently. So it's not even counting like the dailies and things too. Oh, we need a team of the week still. Oof. Let me pop one in. But yeah, if you wanted to take it slow and kind of calculate how many coins you're spending, how many coins you're making, you can. We're just reaching the point where we see our coins continue to endlessly go up. I would assume if we're not trading this heavy and it's just endlessly going up as we're making more and more packs, that I don't even need to calculate that much anymore. We can just see it happening. But also too then, depending on how many coins you have, we'll reach a point with people where they won't care if they're making profit or not. If they're making profit and slowly dwindles down the profit they're making, it becomes break even, but you have like 5 million coins. Do you know how wasteful it would have to be, or how crazy prices would have to get for you to even lose like 100K or like 50K off of that? It would take so long. It'd remind me kind of like the experiment we used to run years ago. Do you guys remember when we used to, I think it was in, was it FIFA 24 was the first year of exchanges? We bought like 10 mil worth of exchange fodder, and then we just spam those into the league specific, or not league specific, we'd spam those into the team of the week player picks for tradable packs, and we'd consistently do that over and over. That was so fun. Alright, so we need an 87 squad on this. Why am I using so many 86s? What am I doing? Probably not a smart idea to do that. Or even put in an 89. What am I doing? Alright, we need, what, 2 more? There we go. Now at 3.5 and just want to break even, but I need to do 3 icon packs every 2 days. Well, do you view that as you're spending coins to do those, or is that just additional coins you're making and additional fodder you're getting? Because like the way we're doing it, any player picks we get done is just additional coins, an additional way to make room in our dupe storage. And if we get a crazy pull at the end of it, we get a crazy pull. Alright, 85s. We have 1 more provisions we need to do. Doesn't really matter though what rating we use for those. We can get more later. 86 is done. And we just need an 85 squad. So let's do... Should we do 85s and 84s together? Dupe storage cards. Yeah, I'm going to just clear my dupe storage. I think that's more important. Because we have these in the club. I'm trying to stay at 3.5 to 4 mil after buying any fodder. Nice. Yeah, I would assume you should be more than good then. Alright. You guys ready for an icon? Who do you think we'll get? Try to pack a Mark Brunel to do a first order Evo on him. What would you say is the best way to try to pack him? What's his rating and card type again? Crespo? Dude, I wouldn't mind a Crespo. Crespo on our account would be goated. He is a club legend over the years. All right, dudes, we have an 88 plus icon upgrade. Let me know what you got in yours. Come on, EA. Pretty please. Should probably get another coffee, too. Should we go get coffee right now, or? That'd be too mean. All right, come on. Center back. Oh, Italy. Oh, oh, oh. Cannavaro. Why did I think it was Maldini? Is Cannavaro good? I feel like he's still meta. He's still good? Cold 1 million coin player W. And just like that, boys, another player that we'll very rarely ever play with in the club. Now that you're going to use it anyways, exactly. Add him to the list of doom and despair. Wait, no, we gotta replace the delict that everyone roasted me for using. Y'all gave me a hard time with that one. I put Cannavaro in. Sick. Alright, I'm gonna fill up my coffee real quick. What do you guys think? W or L in that? If he's a silver rare, League SBC'S would probably be a great place to get him, honestly. Prime Electrum in the premium mix, or the untradeable ones in the mixed league. Either way, if you just spam those, not only are you going to be able to get them tradable or untradeable, you'd also have a chance in bronze upgrades from the mixed league, the silver upgrades from both leagues. Yeah. Or not the silver upgrades. It would be the bronze upgrade from the mix. But that's only one rare in there. I would say spam either mixed or premium would be your best bet. All right, BRB boys. Boys, I just thought of something. Should we do gamble icon SBCs for the rest of the game? Like, genuinely, I don't think I need to do another player SBC anymore. Like, the only reason we did Messi was to show we could grind Messi without really having to spend a single coin. And just make coins on him while getting rid of fodder. Now that that experiment's done and we got Dino done without even playing a game on him. Now we're going to get all these. Should that just be the way we use our fodder moving forward? How do you not get banned on Pale Tools when buying stuff? In what sense? A permanent ban or temporary ban for doing it too fast? If it's the second one, We have a video on how to be more efficient with League SBCs, especially using Pale Tools. It has times 25 in the thumbnail from like 2 months ago. I'd watch that, even though we talked about the mixed in there. If you use the same logic for the premium, you'll never really get into issues where you get bid bids. You're doing the same. I think it'd be fun, right? Adds a whole nother element to the streams. Makes it a little bit more fun, too. Because, like, let's be real. How many Icon SBCs could have we gotten done in the Messi Ronaldo? How many players better than Messi and Ronaldo could we have packed as well? Probably a ton, right? Alright, let me grab my coffee real quick. I think it's done. Alright, we're going to do a walk away. 80 plus times 8, boys. $84. 84, chat. What the heck, dude? Dub. Ooh. Guys, would you be upset if I used Van de Ven in the Prem La Liga section of the SBC? If he's untradeable? Is the pick worth it over the crafting upgrade? Now that we're getting higher rated minimums and League SBCs are guaranteed money, you can be more wasteful with efficiency related stuff, where I think the player pick for the enjoyment factor, it's not going to recycle as easily, but if you're doing League SBCs endless, you're going to have endless cards that you can put into them, so it's not going to matter as much. Hey, Gabrielle. So yeah, I'm and with the crafting upgrade going away too by the end of the week, I'm just sticking to player picks now. It would still probably make more sense if you wanted to build up more packs, get more cards back to do crafting upgrades, but I'm still sitting on over 1,500 packs. I think we can cut a few corners myself. All right, are all these tradable? Dang, okay. Yeah, let's open these up and see if we get anything, boys. We'll start at the 79 times 10. We got an inform. W. Our inform's still like 20k? Oh, they dropped a bit. Okay. They're like 15.5 now? How much are 84s? I don't care, we'll list them. Thinking of my transfer list right now. So I would list these. I'm going to quick sell them because I don't have a room. Don't do what I just did. Alright, let's record this just in case something happens. Alright, tradable 81 plus times 7. Can we get anything good? No? No walkout. Put in 83 WEA. Such a great company. Same thing. I don't have a room, so I'm quick selling. I would list every single one of those if I were you guys. Alright. Alright, dudes, we got a tradable 83 plus times 11. I think this was from the season pass. I honestly can't remember. Let me know what you got in yours. Come on, EA. Not a single walkout. Chat, not a single walkout. That might be the worst one ever, bro. What? Does Frimpong go for anything? I don't even know anymore. Start my cut 3 days ago. Starting weight was 91.3, but somehow 89.7. Probably water weight. Probably. The more you track, the more apparent those things will become. They can be either extremely encouraging or very discouraging with a lack of information. So like, for example, if people try keto, what are the reasons why a ton of people love the keto diet, especially early on? No disrespect to the keto diet. There's things about it that can be good, but in general, people don't correlate water weight's not body fat weight. So what they'll do is they'll lose all their water weight right away. In that first week or so, they get insane weight loss numbers. And then if they try to compare that to any other diet they did, when they still are holding on to all that water weight, they're going to feel like, wait, I did this and I saw X result and it worked. I tried Y now and Y didn't work, therefore X must be the way it works. But the thing with that in nature is once you lose that water weight, you essentially lost the weight as fast as you could. That was the water in your system. The weight loss is now going to slow unless you're in a true calorie deficit. But then after that, also too, what they don't prepare you for is the second you go off of that, which almost every single person does then, they get discouraged because all the weight comes back on. And it's like, why did I do that for a week or two, make myself miserable just to lose no weight? Do you actually want to know, or do you want like the answer that's going to make you feel better about yourself? And most people don't want the actual truth. They want an answer that's going to make them feel better than the process of even trying was good enough. Okay, you can say that, but if that person genuinely wants weight loss, you're doing them no favors if you're lying to them. Compensates for the spaceship Mbappe. All right, dudes, 86 double. Come on, EA. Walk out, please. Bare minimum I asked for. Oh? 186, the worst 86. Wait, what's worse, Inter or Newcastle? Both are horrible. We'll take an 87. Walk out! Walk out! I've been under my maintenance around 500 to 800 below, so I'm confident. Yeah. Yeah, as long as you understand the numbers and you track enough data points, over time you might have to adjust as you keep losing weight because your true maintenance will be lower. But for the first few weeks, you're perfectly fine. Alright, time for another. Oh, we got 3 we can do. Ooh. EA, you are spoiling us today. They literally did nothing. It's just stuff I have left over. If you're in the gym as well, remember the scales might not move in a few weeks as you add the muscle. Well, that's not technically. Yes and no. There's other factors. But yes. Somewhat. Won't add that much muscle on a cut. Well, it depends on like what's happening. Like, you might, if you're timing your carbs right when you go into the gym, and they're used to enhance your workout, and your glycogen storages are now holding on to way more water, and it's filling your muscle more, after that really good workout, your body might be holding on to more water because the glycogen storages are filling up, so your weight will fluctuate that way. But then as you continue cutting, those glycogen storages will be depleted, and that water weight will slowly go away. So, like, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed that on a cut, but, like, if you've cut for an extended period of time, there'll be random days where, even though you're still eating in a deficit, the scale might shoot up 2 to 3 pounds. And then each day for the next few days, you're still in a deficit, but the scale's either staying the same or not really going down, and you're like, what the heck's going on? I'm not doing anything, like, super different. Yeah, and that's why taking progress photo, I'm going to say something that might be hard to hear, but I think people need to hear it because I was the same way. If you don't want to track calories because you don't want to keep yourself accountable, I completely get that. And I was the same person for a long time and still am some days. But if you say it's too much work, I think you don't care enough about actual weight loss or changing things in your daily life to see change. If you truly wanted that weight loss, if you truly wanted to hit your goal, those things would be like an automatic because you'd want to collect those data points. But I think for a lot of people, right, a lot of people are just new to it, and it's decision fatigue. If they have to now do a million other things outside of working out, if working out's already hard for them and they're hearing you need to track calories for every food, you need to weigh everything out because the food that says is this many calories is actually in this many servings, and they can lie to you by a certain percent, and then you might be overcounting it. And then if you're not doing this, if you're not counting sausage, if you're not doing all those things can be true, but to someone who's brand new at it, it's just gonna be like boom, 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 and they're gonna be like, oh, this is too much. I don't want to do any of it. But when in life is that ever the answer? Is I don't want to do any of this because it's hard? No. If it's hard, it's most likely because it's new. You slowly gather more information. Then over the days, over the weeks, it becomes more and more natural. For example, if you eat similar foods every single day, I know some people are picky eaters and they can eat the same thing all the time. Or some people like having a lot of diversity and they'll want different foods every single day. I could eat the same thing every single day, diet or non-diet, because I love it so much. I have a general idea of how much I'm eating, how much something might weigh, and how many calories are in said thing if I'm eating the same thing every single day. That's one less thing that I really have to think about when it comes to like day-to-day decisions. But I also know like what my body enjoys eating, what's easy for it to eat versus like what's more difficult. So if I sit there and I eat a bunch of chicken and sweet potato, I know it's going to be great for my body. If I switch that up to something completely random and try it out for the first time ever, like if I go to the grocery store, I'm like, hey, I've never tried this Mr. Mumbo's beef stew. Let me give this a try right before a workout and see how it makes me feel. Probably won't trust it to be a good source of energy without destroying my butthole in the process, potentially. Some people have dairy issues. Groceries in America must be expensive? Not really, dude. How much do you guys spend on groceries a week? If I'm eating 175 to 200 grams of protein in a cut, I can get all my groceries weekly for about $50 or less, American dollars. If I'm deep in a cut and want the protein a little higher or a little less calories and then like more diet soda and stuff, it's closer to $75. But especially when I'm not cutting, I can easily spend under $50 a week and probably extend that to 10 days. So I could spend at most probably $150 to $200 a month on grocery food while hitting protein goals. We have better quality of food in Europe. For some things and other things, probably not. I'd agree in general, the overall quality is probably better to a certain extent. But, yeah, that's a whole different conversation. You guys see this okay? Did I share my screen properly? Yeah. Okay, we're good. I'm always afraid because I've done it a few times last year. I don't know if I've done it this year before. But sometimes when we're just chilling and grinding this, we'll be like 20 minutes into spamming on Pale Tools. And someone will be like, yo, Mumbo, are you not sharing your screen? I'm like, I'm sure someone would have said something by now if I wasn't. Oh, look at that. We haven't been sharing our screen for 20 minutes. We're all just chilling and vibing. And Nightbot, why does Mumbo know everything? Dude, we need Nightbot AI so that Nightbot can start trolling us. And you guys can start gathering information that you give Nightbot, and then Nightbot can repeat things back. Like, imagine like ChatGPT or something, but as Nightbot in chat. So anytime C-Barbs comes in here, he's like, Mumbo, how do I do League SBCs? Nightbot goes, hey C-Barbs, have you watched the video? Yeah, I'm still confused. Okay, C-Barbs, I'm going to walk you through it. What are you stuck on? Yeah, it depends on probably where you are in Europe. Know what I'm excited for? I'm excited for real Italian food when I go to Italy. I'm going to try as best as I can because I don't know what kind of foods are going to be on the cruise versus like actual Italy. But I'm going to try to weigh myself in the process, document it, and see how much weight I can gain / lose. Sea Barbarian. This beat's kind of vibey. Yeah. Yeah. Dude, just give me the chem. How do I view the challenge list? The challenge requirements? Requirements, right there. Is that what you're referring to? Italy's heaven for carbs. Careful with the spaghetti mafia. Should I just ask a ridiculous question when I'm there? Be like, hey, did you put butter on the pasta? Yes, sir. Could I put spray butter on it instead? Could you imagine their reaction? They would probably want to kill me. If I asked for spray butter, I don't think I'd be allowed back in the United States. I think they would hold me hostage. And force feed me butter. They're going to say, do you know what good food is? They're going to say, do you know what a job is? Your whole population is essentially unemployed. And then they're going to hold me hostage even longer. They're going to agree, but they're going to hold me hostage even longer. Then I get to spend more time in Italy. 500 IQ play. We'll run some strats, stay in the country, not have to pay for it. Get the people who aren't working to pay for it for me to stay there even longer. See, we're already gaming the system before we even get there. It's not enough for Aiden. We're rare. But Italians are already getting annoyed at the U.S. exchange students. I'd be careful. I'm Italian. I'll be fine. 500 IQ play. Guess someone will miss the first couple of months of EAFC27. You want to know what's funny? I bet you I could copy and paste all my old videos from FC26 at the start of the year and schedule them out. And I bet the same information would work the same exact way for this game. I'd put money on that working. But either way, yeah, the time I'm taking the trip is technically the start of FC27, so we might have to make like whiteboard videos. We might have to go into like a conference room, record myself writing on a board. All right, guys, listen. You're going to bid 150 on a bunch of silver commons, okay? Oh, oh, oh! Another Joe. W. Pineapple is fantastic on pizza. I want to do Dorgu SBC'S. I'm a United fan, but the club is muddy and I've got 2.1 million. Is it fair to buy the fodder for it? How much does it cost to buy the fodder? And what's like the highest rated squad? Because like my thing is if you're doing dailies, you're not only making coins, you're making fodder. You could probably literally do most of the Dorgu SBC with fodder from dailies on top of the player picks and league SBCs if you did any pale tools whatsoever and then just spent the rest of the coins on it and did it for a fraction of the cost. But if you don't care either way and you're just wanting to completely buy it out and turn your brain off, I don't blame you either. Just ran out of League One commons. Should I now bid on them on PS5? Yeah, you can. I would just fill up your transfer targets and then come back on Pale Tools and just like that, store them in your club after you're done using them. And it'll be left to just dupes here. Another option you could do as well is if you have nothing on your transfer targets, if you did want to pull them on console and put all the dupes into your transfer targets, you could do that as well. When you're at a restaurant, get rid of the chalk on the blackboard and write down the league SBC instructions. 288s, 287s, 286s, I'll probably be able to do it with 2-3 squads and just buy the rest. Yeah. That sounds like a good play. I like the strat. Good comms. Dude, I'd be such a baller, man. I wanted Sunderland to get him so bad. He worked with Regis before when he was at Laureate. What could have been, man. Alright. Got 2 more 86 doubles. I'm looking at the top 2 rows of cards and packs. Icons, heroes, the high-end ones. I think I've packed non-stop like bottom row. Like nothing else. Not complaining though. Squad's looking good. You more spaghetti than schnitzel, or are you more Italian than German? I'm the perfect combination of everything. What SBC are you doing on the side? What do you mean by on the side? Like the fodder that I'm getting? What am I doing? Icon packs. Extra cards that aren't in League SBCs or dupe storage. I'm doing player picks over crafted now. Just because they're more entertaining and we don't need to be as efficient anymore. with making packs or any of that stuff. If you guys still want to do crafting upgrades for the few days they're still out, you can, but at this point it's so many coins from League SBCs and so many cards, it shouldn't be a problem for anyone to build up packs or coins. Alright, 86 double, boys. I got a feeling we're going to get a walkout. We did. W. Called it. Look at that. Who's going to be the inform, though? '86 Junior. No, the pack. We're doing the pack, not the pick. 86 double, boys. Come on. Ooh, future star. But who is it? Ooh, ooh. He's behind. Ricardo Pepi. Cold. Another American. 92 shooting. Like a true American. League of Portugal increases to 600 coins. Still giving profit? Yep. And if you guys look in our grind playlist, we have a video that calculates what you would need to buy at what prices and what you'd be clear. We have a whole mathematic formula to it. If you bought at every Pro League Portuguese League at 1,000 coins, it could still be guaranteed profit. So if you guys ever want to watch that video in there, I'll kind of give you more perspective of the cost of stuff, what you need to keep going. If you did spend in other areas, what you could spend, how you could calculate otherwise. Tradables you're getting back, untradables. Then like a million things in between. Thank you, much love, no problemo. Remember, it's Pepe's third feature star. Dude, I feel like some players always get feature star cards. When do they stop becoming a future star and just become a star? Also, too, you want to know the most unk feeling in the world? Anytime you see a player nowadays that either has a good or bad rating that used to be a future star like 10 plus years ago, but in your head it was just like the other year they were a future star. Like, I remember seeing a post today that was talking about Mendy being a future star. Ferland Mendy. That's like unk status for sure. You just finished the Doumbia SBC. I didn't even realize there's a Doumbia SBC out. When did that come out? I haven't been paying attention to any of that. Is that today? 6 squads. Oh, it's cakewalk. Which players like Doumbia or the more expensive players had a loan version to try out? I feel like you... Hot take. I feel like you could do this within a week easily with just the dailies. I don't think you even need a loan for this one. But yeah, like the super, super expensive ones I could see. Like 3 days ago he was out? Gotcha. How's Mendy there? Yeah, no, that's what I was talking about. Like, his future star felt like it was literally just like last year. Crazy how time flies. Crazy, crazy. Did we get any newer Evos that I should be trying out? The Prince? Ooh. Should I just make an Elite Xhaka card and sell my tradable one? And just have a slower paced one that we slowly evo over time? I don't think any other Sunderland cards can fit this one, sadly. Meeksmore. Doesn't Big Meeks not even fit that? Make the link. Repeatable 10 times. So you could just spam that on a card. Okay. Bro, who in here told me that changing browsers would help with League SBCs? Carlos did. Does it actually, or is that fake news? AKA the GOAT. He's going to say it doesn't work at all. It was a complete waste of time. It didn't work. Ooh, he got you, Carlos. Carlos lying in chat in the big year 26. Uh-oh. Carlos is going to become the new, who is the dude who, was trying to give trading advice in the chat? I was trying to tell you guys not to listen to him because he made it sound like guarantees when they weren't. And, like, collectively, our community lost, like, 10 million coins. Was it Josh? Oh, gosh, what was his name? FBL Josh. Yes, yes, yes. Or is it only buying bidding SoftBank because they got an SBC ban? Wait, now I'm even more confused. Do you feel like they nerfed the Premium League SBC? I'm not getting as much Team of the Weeks. No, I'm still getting a decent amount of Team of the Weeks. I feel like as the Team of the Week price goes up, it's always going to be harder to get them. But now I feel like in terms of fodder, especially, the amount of walkouts I've gotten from it has been crazy. Like the stream, guys? Yeah, if you guys are enjoying the stream, do me a favor. Smack the like button. Subscribe if you're new. Alright, I don't have room to open those up. We could spam some more smaller player packs. Should we go back down to 1400? Let's do that. Why not? Let's go for it. When I learned about dopamine farming, it changed my life. It basically helps you spike up your dopamine so you can do those tasks. People with ADHD, AUDHD, brains could care less about priority. But it can be as simple as eating sour candy or doing jumping jacks, than doing said task. Huh? Can I use that to help me make League SBCs faster, more efficient? Can I trick myself into spending more and more time on it? Hear about Ribery? Yeah, call me crazy. I could have sworn the Ribery thing was common knowledge. Like, I could have swore, I know Benzema always gets jokes. But I'm convinced Ribery got jokes as well, just not as many. But then also they were on the same French national team, where I'm pretty sure back in the day there was reports that both of them were trying to get minors. What's up with Ribery? Diddy 3.0. The Benzema, The frontline links of Benzema, Ribery, and any woman under the age of 14 are all green links. But yeah, I saw Nick's video today. What was it? He's like, I saw people saying, should Ribery get removed from the game? I was confused. And then I clicked on the article, and it said he's in the Epstein files. His card has gone up in price. Has his card gone up in price because people think he's going to be removed from the game, therefore they want to buy him to make money off of him or get him before he's extinct? Or is he going up in price because some freaks out there saw him in the Epstein files and they're like, I'm going to put him in my squad? Wait. Could you put him in a prison 11? Could you put him in the Marseille squad? Did Ribery ever play? Hold on. This could be a 500 IQ play. What were all the teams Ribery's played for? He's guilty. He's guilty. Nah, he was. No. Send him to prison. He went to a free transfer to Marseille. Dude, even the amount of goals he scored was underage. Look at that. Disgusting, dude. Yeah, someone's going to make a Marseille past and present. Dude, did you guys see that Kurt Zuma went to the CSL? Ghetto/PedoFC equals Marseille. So far in the stream, we've talked about League SBCs, body weight, and stuff. Now the Epstein files. Yeah, this is like... Do you guys remember the streams during Team of the Year? This is essentially the same thing, just in a more condensed version. What took us like 6, 7, 8 hours to get to the point where we ran out of stuff to talk about and just started yapping, we're now doing in like a half an hour to an hour. After that point, it's like, okay, we did all the dailies. We got an icon done. What's Diddy up to? Y'all notice how the League SBCs aren't mentioned in the Epstein files? Interesting. Huh. Good point. We haven't talked about ball shaving? Dude, you should, to keep the meme going, you should email Manscaped and say, like, hey, I'm a huge fan of this content creator, Mumble Elite. You should sponsor him and see if they reach back out to me. Hey, we found a very dedicated fan in your community. Said we should do a deal. How does that feel? Would you be down? Yeah, I'd be down. Have you worked with us in the past? If you have, that's okay. We can use the same creator code. We just want to know so we know what material to send over. Oh, and if you could provide a link to your previous content, we'd like to go off of that as an example. I don't think you should see it. Why not? Surely it can't be that bad. Oh my gosh. He is shaving his balls while opening packs on FIFA. What is going on? Guys, what can you do faster? Shaving with Manscaped or a League SBC run? We'll try it live. Russo cold. Another walkout. Did League SBCs are OP? Is that another 88? Double 88, you say? Guys, but League SBCs aren't good. They're not worth it. Don't do them. Why are there 4,500 results of the name Reed in the Epstein files? No comment. I won't say anything regarding that until my lawyer's present. I will note there's no mention of Mumbo Elite in the Epstein files. Just want to point that out. Now, is the EA Sports CEO in there? Please tell me there's some link somewhere. That comes out in the next day. We get old school League SBCs and exchanges instantly. Could you imagine? I want to know if Epstein got a Manscaped sponsor. Well, what year was Manscaped really popping? I feel like Epstein was... Was it before or after Epstein went AFK? Probably a little after, right? Definitely not privileged enough to get a sponsor by Manscaped. I feel like he's the wrong demographic to go for, though. I feel like that wouldn't work well. I feel like there might be some backlash, you know? Alright, let's do some dupe storage. Excuse me. I'm so glad this man said no to Sunderland. And he chose the Saudi League. And we got roofs for like half the price. If that's not an example for, like, you don't always want what you want. Like, you might think you want it, but when things don't go your way, you don't really ever think, like, oh, they could actually go better than what I expected. Like, in my head, even like, take all the Sunderland bias out. In my head, I was praying. I'm like, if Sunderland could finish even, not even a point above relegation, if they could be like a goal, one single goal in goal differential away from relegation, I would take that the first season. The fact that they're even challenging for a Europe spot at this point, bro. Crazy. Crazy. I can't wait for the discourse after the Liverpool game. If Sunderland can beat Liverpool. Because we got points off of them at Anfield. Now they're not going to have Szoboszlai. Sloposlai, I call him. And they're not going to have a right back. And they wanted Gertruda. Not only did we not give Gertruda to Liverpool and cancel our loan for Gertruda, we've decided to not start him since. He was already not starting, but we played him even less. So he's just rotting on the bench when Liverpool needs a right back. Meanwhile, their free kick merchant is now gone. RIP. Bro, I'm not looking forward to that game. I'm very excited about it. In the sense of, I feel like this is going to be one of those that, honestly, like, hold on, time out. Let's cook real quick. So, games this week have the potential to be really interesting. If we talk about, we were just saying Sunderland versus Liverpool. We were talking about the free kick merchant being on a red, so he's not going to be playing. Liverpool not having a right back, wanting Gertruda, trying to get him from Sunderland, which would have meant he would have had to cancel his loan, which had the obligation or the option to buy at the end of the season if they wanted to. And with the price that it's set, it would be basically guaranteed profit. Gertruda hasn't played much at Sunderland. Arne Slot used to manage Gertruda. Gertruda used to be his captain back when they played in the Eredivisie. So that's why he really wants him. He's a great versatile option. He can play multiple spots in the defensive line. He can play in the midfield too. Great player. He just doesn't... He has that hard problem if Sunderland's doing so well. It's hard for him to slot into any particular spot. But he's a great utility option. On top of that, you have the United game where United never thought they'd get to 4 wins to begin with. Now they're playing West Ham. And everybody is convinced it's going to be the easiest game in the world. Therefore, they're going to screw it up. I think it's actually going to be a quite difficult game. Not only has West Ham been doing phenomenal recently, if you look at their league record, they've won, 3 of the last 5? But in terms of, actual wins, if you count cup games too, I think they've won 4 out of 6? Because they won a cup game in between there too. They got crucial points on the road. Remember, they played Chelsea, beat Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. I'm blanking on the other games they played. Oh yeah, they beat Sunderland. They destroyed Sunderland, so obviously I'm scared. But no, Somerville. Do you guys remember Hater Central, who makes all the football posts? Hater Central made one 2 months ago about Somerville, saying he was the worst signing ever, and they used the who's the fat guy on Twitter? That's super funny. I'm blanking on his name. Why can't I think of his name right now? Super funny guy. Bro, what's his name? Does all the viral skits. Drewski. Why can't I think of Drewski? Nah, they made Somerville into Drewski, and ever since that post, I think Somerville has averaged an 8.1 rating on FootMob. He's been doing phenomenal. So you have Somerville in great form. Their Fernandez is fantastic. He's one of the signings, I think, of the summer. Coming from, Southampton. He didn't want to play championship football. Rightfully so. He's been balling out. He's fantastic. I have a feeling him or Somerville are going to score, or both of them are going to score. And if Fernandez scores, he's going to score outside the box. He's just going to hit a banger. So it will be a difficult game for them. I don't think it's going to be a cakewalk for United. United will be set up very well, though, because West Ham does have Todibo on a red still for the games. So he'll be out. Their backline's not going to be as good. I think Ahmad will be a threat. Cunha will be a threat. And Buemo will be a threat. It'll just be if they can lock down that midfield. But no, they should be good, fun games to watch. I can't wait. Tend to do like 10 league SBC runs. Take a note on my starting balance. My balance when I stand. Show everything. My profits and losses. That is a great thing to note. I will say, if you do that, find a way to calculate consumables without selling them, because you'll end up slowing yourself down in a lot of different ways, or it'd be more beneficial. Like, I don't know, you said you had, what, 2 million coins? If you're not going to run out of coins, I just spam League SBCs even harder. Because, like, when it comes to, like, listing the chem styles, listing the players, all that stuff, you're going to inevitably slow yourself down eventually, or be wasteful, so you're not going to be making as many coins. You got to treat it all in, like, different steps. Hey, W, how much does she go for on the market? You can use her and then sell her. If you want to try her out, go for it. If they win, do you think the United stand will change his content? Like, do you think he'll try to do it again and be like, all right, 10 in a row, nah. 5 in a row again until we win a trophy? Or do you think he's going to pivot? About a mil? Okay, gotcha. If she's a mil, I mean, you can do what you want. I would take the mil. If you want to play a game with her and try her out, you can too. My guess is you don't really need her in your team. And even if she was an upgrade on players in your team, with untradables, you could do a player SBC, or other pack pulls, you could get a player, like an icon SBC. That would be better than her to begin with. Why don't you do not cutting my hair until 5 games in a row for Sunderland? We'll see. That might be achieved too easily for Sunderland. That's not like a challenge. Yeah, it won't be the same. But, like, he has 1 million followers now, so it's not like he's going anywhere. He wouldn't be as popular if he switched, but... He's either going to get a haircut or have an unlimited content glitch. Wait, hold on. If they actually drop points, if they draw or lose, I don't think they get another 5 wins straight this season. And then if it's only for competitions, he'd have to wait throughout summer. Dude, his hair would be so long. Like, they'd be building. Next season, they'd be even better than they are this season, I think. So it's possible. But man. I feel like he capitalized on that concept. I don't think anyone else would blow up like him. Because Amram is gone? Yeah. I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, if we're talking about him specifically, right? Like, we could talk about other people if they tried the same gimmick. Would it work? Probably not. But for him, even if he tried to extend the gimmick, he's such a meme that even if it didn't work, like, if you viewed his percentages, okay? If, let's say they drop points and he wants to continue this, even if he lost half the support he does, in the sense of, like, over 1 million people following him in this journey, the amount of money and the fan base that would continue following him or think about him anytime United won or lost games is insane. Like, he's past the point of even needing to make content anymore. He will forever be a United meme, for good or for bad. Any manager, they'd put the hair on the manager, hair on the players. They'd post him. Like, he's probably going to be decently set for life. If he can get a few good brand deals on top of what he's already doing and have some sort of content after, he's cooking. Breaks that fourth wall a little bit. Gets to go to United, meet some of the players. Or they get to cut his hair, dude. Could you imagine how big that would be? That'd be like Speed meeting Ronaldo, but on steroids. And like Speed meeting Ronaldo was one of the biggest footballing things, I feel like, recently. The past few years. Oh, wait, Goldberg is kind of annoying that he's in the spotlight. Wait, Goldberg got a deal with Nike, or the other guy did? I never see any of Goldberg's stuff. He must have me banned or something. He never shows up in my feeds or anything. Which I feel like he would quite a bit. I get United stuff recommended to me all the time because most of the people in my chat, if you polled them, the majority of them are United supporters. One of my best friends is a United supporter. Most of my mods are United supporters. My mods that follow me on TikTok that we're mutuals with are United supporters. No, Nico the YouTuber, the other guy. Not Goldberg, gotcha. Eminem is the reason why this man has to buy 10 bottles of shampoo a week. What was, what's his name? Who's the Chelsea guy? Who, like, before the game would post, he's like, Chelsea's playing this team tomorrow. Easiest win in the world. And then he'll be like, discard the whole team. Bleach my eyes. We just lost to a Wi-Fi password. What's his name? I don't see him on TikTok anymore. Oh, future star, come on. American striker. Oh. Oh, it's the 87, isn't it? It's the 88, I mean. It's hearing him. Just like 12K. My toothbrush is a United supporter. What are those dance moves, dude? Brother, what is she doing? Genuinely, what is she doing? Stop emoting. We don't care. She hit like 50 dance moves. It's like dance moves from the 70s. No, some of them look familiar. I've seen them, but I'm just saying, it seemed like she just like was on Fortnite and hit non-stop emotes. Why does every American have like a minimum of 80 plus shooting? I'll have to solve that one, bud. She was excited to be in your club. She knows she's getting sent into fodder. She's going to be in my club for a total of maybe 5 minutes. Until that icon SBC comes calling. And she is gone. Alright, I think I'm going to do this with player picks all week. So we opened like 40 smaller gold player packs there. So we'll continue building out more and spamming those in groups. But I think like turning our brain off like that on streams throughout the week, chilling, and then taking our dupe storage and making player picks out of it. That way our dupe storage gets higher and higher rated to get ready for the next day's dailies. I think this is the way to go about it. This is the strat 100%. She's going to the bench with the mop. She's not even making my bench, dude. She's going to be in the starting 11 for the 88 rated section of the Icon SBC. That's what she fits in. Boys, a few things to note. My football league starts back up this week. So Wednesday is our first game back. The game's not until 8, but I have to leave at 7, which means I have to end the stream before then. We might do like an hour stream on Wednesday. But then Thursday I'm going to the dentist, so we won't have a live stream Thursday. But we'll then be back Friday to grind and then the weekend to grind. So Tuesday stream, Wednesday short stream if we have one, Thursday no stream, and then Friday back to usual. Davies, cold. Dude, I saw Davies right there. It made me think about Davies and his injuries. Just a general footballing question. If footballers could never get injured, like if you looked at the history of people and their careers of like what if they never got injured in different ways, who do you guys think one of the best players in the world would be different? Or like who are players that you think would have made it potentially all the way to the tippy top if it wasn't for injuries? Or would continue to get better at a rate where it's like they're now an elite level footballer. You could take anything. I'm just curious. Hazard. I feel like Neymar surely too, right? Neymar has to make that list. Anyone here also not motivated to do the crappy icon swaps objective? Yeah, I'm not doing it. No, thank you. I'll stick to my endless fodder from League SBCs and PPs. Alright, let me get my dinner real quick, too. Michael Owen. R9. R9's a good one. Check Wilshire or Kaká. I'm trying to think back to Wilshire. If he didn't get injured, what player would you compare him most to in terms of his game? And like his potential? Oof. Adriano. Adriano. I haven't heard that name in ages. Adriano was drugs. Do drugs count as an injury? An injury to yourself? A self-harm? I mean, if we say yes to that, I guess you could include food too. Players who eat too much food and put on some weight. Royce, good. Anderson, though. I'm not saying tippy top, but Joe Gomez 5-6 years ago was good. One of the things that, I don't know if you guys are the same way with football. I love like either niche players or niche things where it doesn't even have to be like a world-class player. It can be a very specific thing that gives so much more meaning. Like if you're a, let's say, Prem team trying to not get relegated. Obviously, Leeds doesn't have Rafinha anymore, but when Rafinha saved Leeds from getting relegated on the final day, that was like GOAT status automatically. Or it's like you look at cult heroes who maybe, for like Sunderland, played with us in League One, into the Championship, and now play into the Prem, like Trey Hume, who we got for like 100K. The value in, like, my eyes, how I view him, is infinitely different than other people. I find that so cool. Or it's like some random wonder kid that no one's heard of before is now playing for your club. You don't know how well they're going to do. They could be a complete flop. But from preseason or just YouTube highlights, in your head, there is no ceiling for this player. I like that as well. That's always cool when you don't know a player's potential yet. Like, Nilsson Angulo that Sunderland just signed. Perfect example of that. Ecuadorian. He looks like a tall Neymar. Very flashy, very skillful. I'm excited to see what he can do the rest of the season. Falcao possibly. Took him ages. Just get back to decent form. Dude, I have a fascination with... I'm not a United supporter, but like I said, one of my best friends has supported United most of his life. So I've watched most of their games, especially when we were younger, through him. I'm thinking of all the names in my head right now of strikers that have gone to United. That's a crazy number. Falcao was there, Cavani was there, Ibra was there. So many names. Lukaku, Martial, Rashford. I always forget, too, that Di Maria had a stint at United as well. Di Maria is one of my favorite players of all time. Not obviously in the same category as, like, Thiago Silva, but especially when he played on PSG around the same time as Thiago Silva. But, like, with him, as someone who's also left-footed, I love his left-footed abilities that he has. Zlatan doesn't get injured. Injured gets Zlatan. Van Persie was injured a lot, even at Arsenal. Sane? Ooh, that's a good shout. Ecuadorian equals Brazilian. Hey, listen. He is actually Ecuadorian. Dislike all Argentinian players, instant fodder except the GOAT. What are your thoughts on Romero? Done 34 81 picks and had 10 walkouts and an inform. Nice, man. Unbiased opinion, icon rating for Thiago Silva. I would want him to get an icon, but you could make the case that he gets a League One. The thing with Thiago Silva is Thiago Silva gets hurt for icon and heroes quite a bit because his longevity is so crazy in different leagues. It's hard to think of a specific thing. Because like you say 89 to 90. Thiago Silva was playing, starting, and performing extremely well in peak Serie A. He then transitioned to League One, and was dominant obviously in League One, but Champions League wise too, performed really well against European teams. I wish they would have been winning Champions Leagues when he was there, but did phenomenal. Also was teaching Marquinhos his trade, and now Marquinhos is essentially Thiago Silva 2.0. Then he went from there, he went to Chelsea, did phenomenally well in the Prem, won a Champions League with Chelsea at his old age. Like, I don't know how you class that. But also, too, like, FIFA ratings don't mean anything. I think we all can agree with that, right? No one's ever going to get a extremely accurate one. I would care less, to be honest. I would rather he get a lower rated one that I could consistently Evo, and then they give him 15 different promo ones. Whether he's a hero, whether he's an icon, make me Evo him. Or give me a baby one. Or give me a team of the year, a team of the season one, a foot miss one. Whatever you want it to be. That being said, I think hero-wise, 89 makes sense. Icon-wise, I'm not sure. So if we look at heroes now, oh, that's a tough thing because it's like Hamshik's a 87. I could see Thiago Silva being an 88, honestly. Company's an 88. Mycon's an 8. Like, yeah. It's tough, man. Like, Bale's icon's an 88. What more did Bale have to do in his career? Yeah, ratings don't matter. I want to know how they decide heroes and icons. Like, how much of it is actual good IRL performances, therefore deserving of one, versus what deals you can actually strike with people. Because I feel like it's more deals than anything. hey, we want the rights to this player. They're going to sign a contract for X amount of years. They want a card to be at least this rated or this popular. We think it's going to make a ton of sales. Like, getting Ibra in the game versus getting, I don't know, who's a random, like, icon?
At Josedan6822 funded MX $19.
Thank you for the dono, buddy. How you doing today, brother? Another future star. Who we got? CDM. Is this the 86? Hey, bro, how's it going, brother? What about KDB? Should be around 91. Well, KDB, same with Salah, but KDB, what's crazy about them is, what was the game where it was like the most random matchup? It was Chelsea versus... Who did Salah play for when KDB was at Chelsea? Before we moved to the Serie A. FC Basel? Basel? KDB, what? Coming in off the bench for Chelsea, and then Salah scoring minutes later, seconds later. Yeah, it was. Okay. Barzell is the pronunciation? Really? Barzell? Barzell? KDB, Lukaku, Lukaku, Salah were at Chelsea at the same time. Madness. Swiss people say it like that? Gotcha. We officially down to 1,400. Boys, we did it. We finally worked our way down. Took ages. But we finally got there. How are you? So yesterday Portugal was 250 coins. Today they're 500. They'll probably continue to fluctuate like that. What will be interesting is when the crafting upgrade goes away and it's just the player pick. WEA, credit where credit's due. I love the fact that they're making player picks a full week so that the player pick's always out now. And then they upgrade it on Monday again. Either make it the exact same for a whole nother week or two, or they change the requirements or change the rating. I feel like that's phenomenal. If they can keep doing that, I think we're going to have a fantastic next few promos. What's the next promo, by the way? Yeah, I'm curious to see what happens when the crafting upgrade goes away. How League SBC prices change. I feel like the issue with League SBCs right now for a Pro League Portuguese League is so many people know about it at different times, and they fluctuate because of that. But in general, I feel like there's still dedicated groups of us doing it that will continue to be able to do it for pure profit. It's just how much pure profit I feel like will always fluctuate. So, man, hope you're doing well. I'm doing fantastic, brother. How are you doing today, man? Without saying Thiago or a Sunderland player, who, in your opinion, is the most underrated player of the last 15 years or so? Not underrated in the sense of what they've done for the football club, because he will always be a legend for the football club. I think Pickford, for many years, obviously I still have bias because he's a former Sunderland player, but if you look at Pickford for England and Pickford in general for Everton, at times his sole ability to keep them up with the amount of saves he'd make in games they had no business being in still over the years. Everton should have been a championship team at some point. Pickford should have never been an Everton player for as long as he has been. But because of how good he is, that's why they're still up. EAFC fan, so I can get on board with that. Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. But I say underrated, again, not in the case of Everton fans, because he's club legend. But, like, I think it's easy for people to overlook that, of how crazy of a thing that is. Like, year after year, how many times have you heard over the years, like, oh, this is going to be the year Everton goes down. This is the one they surely go down. This is the one they surely go down. The fact that they haven't is just insane. Will they eventually? Who knows, but I think the scary thing for Everton fans, I feel like they're building well, so it's not really a super big fear, but like, who do you replace Pickford with when the time comes? Do you wait him out? Do you have him just become progressively, not worse over time, but not as good until he can no longer save you? Or is it a thing where you eventually, you sell him off, you make some more money, you find his replacement? I really think if there was going to be a team that should spend on roofs, I would take 10 million less. Another McGlynn, let's go. I would take 10 million less for Everton rather than 10 million more to sending them to like City or some place like that, Chelsea. I can give you that. When you think of Everton, the first three players you think of, it's going to be Pickford. But it's like now that Donnarumma's in the Prem too, right? Anytime people think of Prem goalies, you think Donnarumma, you think Alisson. For the longest time, you thought Ederson. The name Jordan Pickford should be in every single one of those conversations, but not playing Champions League. It's not covered as much. So yeah, I think that's a good case of a underrated one. But what do you guys think? Underrated. Yeah, I think Roos would be a phenomenal replacement for Everton. The issue is, though, if Sunderland's having as good of a season as they are, a lot of Sunderland players, if they do leave, would want to leave for a potential, like, sounds bad saying, like, a next step, but, like, realistically, if they want to get their wages up, they're on long contracts. First year of their long contract, we'd have to take a decent amount of money to get them off. Now we sorted the ownership. We have navigated the really grim stuff. He signed a 5-year deal this summer. Has been unreal this season. Made another disgusting save. 1-0 down, etc. How old is he, by the way? Because he was so young when he was at Sunderland. He's probably not insanely old yet. And keepers have obviously a longer shelf life, but is he like late 20s? Like 29? 31? Okay. Most overrated, you think, Satterson? 32 next month. Love the fact that he's been so good for 8 years and still stays with us. I love the fact that when the derby happened and Sunderland played Newcastle, like, almost, I don't know if it was like the whole starting 11 of Everton, but like Pickford brought like half the team with him. I thought that was hilarious. He's actually getting better, though, honestly. I think as the game adapts, too, goalkeepers have to adapt with it to a certain extent. And he's one of those who can adapt really well. Like, one of the things I love about roofs so much, especially with the 8-second rule now, where goalkeepers can't just lay on the ball as they catch it and take a half minute off the clock and then punt it. Mumbo equals Pickford with a buzz cut. We share the same dislike of horse punchers. That's always phenomenal. So does Aston Villa. Not as extreme, but there's a Aston Villa page that I see all the time, and it literally just posts about Sunderland being the best team in the Northeast and just trashing on Newcastle. Love it. But yeah, no, if Roofs goes to a top 6 club, one of the most underrated things about Roofs, I want to see if I can actually pull this up, because I will nerd out over this any day. I'm going to pull up 2 things real quick. I'm going to pull up the Sunderland squad. I'm going to show you an example of this. I'm going to show you on a football pitch. I don't know what app would be good for this, so I'm just going to use Paint. See if it folds up. So yeah, the nice thing about roofs, I'm going to show you 2 things. We'll pull up the Sunderland team. Maybe it's not a good example when it comes to against Arsenal. But like, even if you just take the season stats and you look at the team right here, right? You have Roofs in goal. You have Hume, who'll play right mid / right wing back or right back. Mukiele, who can play center back or right back. Ballard, Alderete, they've been phenomenal at center backs. Renildo, fantastic left back. Brabi is an option up top. Roofs can play a ball over the top to him. Gives a whole different kind of play you can do. Brabi's not the best header of a ball, but in terms of his physicality, he just is a fantastic option. Always has a center back on him, which if he's pulling a center back off of that, right? If we go to Paint real quick. See if I can just... What is this? So if you have Roofs right here, and Roofs catches the ball on a cross, right? Catches the ball on a cross, always has a diagonal, making a run behind, ready to go, that he can whip a very quick ball to. But if it's just like a standard shot and a team setting up, and then Sunderland gets the ball and now has possession, you'll have Ballard moving over, Alderete moving over, Alderete here, Ballard here, as options. They'll drop into. Roofs will put the ball on his foot and kind of, even like, he doesn't catch it right away. He'll chest it down to his feet and like do a drag back motion. He'll then act like he's going to just kick it with his feet, wait for the attacker to come up. Attacker steps up here. Roofs picks up the ball. He instantly has 2 throw-in options down the line. He has Renildo making a run, and as Renildo makes that run up, you have Siddiqui, who's sitting in a pivot. heel fraction over. You'll have Talby that'll run off that. You'll have Brabi up here making a run back. So it's like if Roofs plays Brabi's feet, you have a center back on Brabi's back. So if it's Saliba's all the way up here, which gives away space up here. If he can find Talby on a crossing run, or if he can find, let's say, Enzo Lefebvre, ball to his feet, and you have people making a run over here. If you have, I mean, Hume really wouldn't be making a winger run. But if you have a right wing making a run over here, let's say it's Mayendo when he's in, there's an option that Enzo Lefebvre has. You have Talby on the left side. There's an option Enzo Lefebvre has. If no one comes to Brabi, or Brabi has no pass option, he shields the ball at his feet. Saliba gets pushed even more out, or whatever the center back is. There's even more space back here. So all that starts with Roofs. The whole system starts with Roofs. When Xhaka's in, Xhaka will come in even deeper. Xhaka will sit right here. And Roofs can find him with a pass. Siddiqui opens up. Siddiqui's more wide. Ronaldo's making his run, and Siddiqui will still filter into that left back role from center mid. It just gives so much space and options. And it all starts with Roofs and the ball at his feet. And the reason why that's so important too, I didn't even show it on there, is there's a few times, if you watch it in real time, even if you're not a Sunderland supporter, you'll kind of see, you're like, oof, I'm a little scared of that pass. Because Roofs will play balls to the center backs that are moving to the corner of the box that the striker's right there. Like the striker, if they lunge or slid, they're probably this far from the ball. That's how good his passes are. Had no idea how good Roofs was, though. Yeah, he's just a big presence. He's good at penalties. His reflexes are insane. He'll save so much. Like, even if you look at Zubamendi's goal was only possible because it was the perfectly hit strike. Barely had any room, and Roofs almost still got to it. Yeah, I think realistically, Liverpool in the offseason could get him. And they might get Gertruda as well, because Gertruda will go back unless we buy him out completely and he agrees to it. But if you're Gertruda and you're not getting the game time you want at Sunderland, even if there's an option to buy, you know that during the summer, you could probably go for even more money and get more in terms of wages going to a Big Six club like Liverpool. Dutch manager, if he's still there by then. Dutch goalkeeper of Roofs goes with you. You were the captain in the past in the Eredivisie team. Was it Feyenoord? I think it was. The Arne Slot was that with him? It's just fantastic, man. Said to my Macamade in the summer, you dodged a massive bullet not getting Petrovic, as I think he's awful. Yes and no. I love the fact that we got Roofs over Petrovic. I'll die on the hill that he's better. I think depending on the system people play, there's a advantage to having Petrovic. There's a quality you get that maybe you miss out on Roofs that for the price tag makes sense. I don't think if you're Bournemouth and you get Petrovic, look at any of the signings, Petrovic, Diakite, Adley. If you look at is it Ryan, the Brazilian they got? All these guys that they quote unquote took a risk on to replace talent or got to that like second tier, not like that first tier where it's the top tier, not the third tier where it's like a gamble, but that second tier where it's like still value, but you're guaranteed probably not relegation. You're safe in that sense. All those players will come due over time. Diakite, I still think, needs to make more steps up. Petrovic, he'll be fine. But yeah, I think I'd prefer a player like Roofs. The real question is, does Roofs get into the national team? I hope so. But you still have, Brighton's goalkeeper ahead of him? Did 5 runs in the league SBCs haven't opened all the packs yet, but pack Future Star, Upward Art, tradable, easy 70k. W, man. Can't save near post shots. He's like Aaron Ramsdale, so bad in my opinion. But that's the thing, though, right? One of the qualities with him, though, is what you maybe miss out on that. If you have a front line in front of him where Bournemouth doesn't allow as many shots, or he goes, let's say Bournemouth continues to get better and they get more quality defenders and team as a whole, or let's say he went to like one of the quote-unquote Big Six. You're not getting that many shots against you game to game that are really going to challenge that. so it's not exposed as much. Bournemouth right now is kind of that middle ground where the team is still building. It's good enough to do well in runs, but will get exposed enough too. Even like, was it Aston Villa that they just played? Yeah, no, it was Digne, right? The left back that was completely out of position and just stood around and watched Ryan like run straight at the box. It's now forever going to be used as the example of you can't match the intensity of the Prem. It's a whole different game when you go to the Prem. It's just Ryan running in a straight line like it's beginner on FIFA and then scoring. He's like Aaron Ramsdale. He's so bad in my opinion. Well, it's like, I mean, I can't speak for recruitment staff. I'm not sure exactly what they do. I know some clubs look at analytics for things. I know some go on like the history of a club test. Like Chelsea is a perfect example. Chelsea will trust Brighton's recruitment and just buy from them and say, oh, this player will become new. Because they usually do from Brighton. But it seems like Bournemouth has similar data that Sunderland uses. Because we seem to be at the same players for most of the summer. A keeper who can't save basic shots will always not convince me. No, that's the thing too, though, right? Is like, that's the kind of signing, though, that mainly by the clubs he's been at and the name value, that's where you get the price tag more than actual ability. Who do Sunderland buy from? Sunderland right now, in terms of summer recruitment, you had two different models. Last year, it was more of a kind of hit and miss approach from different European leagues, Prem academies. Now that we got a sporting director who has vast European experience, he essentially pulls from the Belgian league right now. We got Noah Siddiqui, who was, I think, African Player of the Year in the Belgian league. He won the league. There's a lot of talent, I feel like, in the Pro League that you can see through Europa. You can see through Champions League. That doesn't guarantee success if they come to the Prem, but if you look for traits like physicality, their age, if they can captain a team, if they have leadership qualities, if they can play multiple positions, if they can adapt to a system, a lot of those things can kind of get you up to play quicker. I think Sunderland, if they start making sales or like more purchases in the summer, I think you're going to see that continue to like go towards a system of playing. I think you're going to see physicality be a big thing. Perfect example, Adingra was someone that Sunderland wanted from Brighton when we were still in the championship. So you could look at Sunderland's recruitment and say, yeah, not all of them were hits for Sunderland though. Adingra was what we wanted when we knew Tom Watson was going to go to Brighton. The Tom Watson deal almost happened in the winter window, and he would have never scored the game winner for Sunderland in the playoff final. But what ended up happening was we allowed him to sign a deal with Brighton where he'd join at the end of the window, but we'd get him for the rest of the season because they didn't want to give us Adingra as a swap replacement in the meantime. So that would have been before our new recruiting model. And even then, Adingra, for the price tag, we're basically, if Monaco buys him for what we set the price tag for, a little bit of a loss, but basically break even on him as a player. So if you can break even on a poor performing player, I don't see that as a bad thing at all. And I would say instantly what you lose on the defensive abilities of Adingra, obviously he didn't attack as well as we wanted him to. Had some moments of brilliance. He has some skill to him. He can take on a player, but he just never felt like he had the complete product. You now sell him, and for the same amount of money you potentially sell him for, you're buying a player for the same amount of money or around that has an infinitely higher ceiling, has more skill, has more physicality, will do a defensive duty, and fits the system more. So I'm excited to see what he can do. What I'm interested in Joe Othell has been sent off on a Sheffield United debut. He took out Brown. Oh, that was disgusting. Did they end up winning? Hold on. Please tell me Borough won. 2-1 they won. Okay. So Borough's in first place right now. Coventry's right behind them. Wow, dude. If we could get Borough and Coventry to both go up for sure, and then a potential Hull, I would prefer Millwall, I think, out of the playoff teams. Ipswich, Hull, Millwall, Wrexham, kind of midder table teams, Preston North End, Bristol, Derby, Birmingham, Watford. If we could get Borough, Coventry, and Millwall to go up, and you get Burnley, Wolves, and a third option to go down, the Prem next year I think is going to be exciting. If you guys get Europe predictions for next season, I think Sunderland is going to continue with the model of, even if they replace talent, buy for similar prices, maybe upscale in some areas, but get more depth than anything. I think this window in particular was more about selling off a bunch of players that you've probably never heard of and just getting to the level of the Prem that you need. So some of those are more kind of project signings for the future, young deals, maybe potential loans, investing in the academy they've been doing a bunch of over the years anyways. I think if Sunderland does get a Europe place, it's going to be more of that squad depth of, hey, Xhaka's injured for a few weeks minimum. Have we been able to replace him well? Even if we're safe this season, if that happened again next season, it was longer, he needed surgery, how can Sunderland cope? Can Siddiqui play that role? If not, who's a direct replacement to Xhaka when he inevitably retires or leaves or is injured for a long period of time? It's like you'll see more of those kind of system signings too. The most fascinating one for me is the wingers, how well they do with Barabi up top. I think Barabi has been fantastic, but hasn't even unlocked his full potential yet. Once he has people that he can link up play better with, like if Sunderland had, think of the games your club played against Sunderland. If Barabi was the striker and was doing hold-up play under center backs and had an option on the wing that you were afraid was going to either take it end line and cross to Barabi or cut back and finesse the shot top ends, or find a midfielder making a late run to the top of the box like Xhaka or Diarra, Habib, that would be really scary. I think that's what Sunderland's missing right now. Because even though I love Talby, outside of the other game where he scored the banger at the top of the box, Talby's been reluctant to really get into a shooting position. And like when he does cross, he's crossing to no one. Same thing on the right side. We really haven't had a right wing that's consistent there. Lately, it's been Hume playing there, who's a right back. Playing more of a defensive right mid role. Eventually, he'll go back to Traore when he's healthy. But that'd be cool over time. Seeing Jolinson step up. Let me see, too, if I can... Let me pull up Transfer Market real quick. Because I want to show you guys what this actually looks like in terms of a value. And, like, how long contracts are for. Like, Sunderland has a team value right now of 327 mil. If we go to details... We go to when they joined, how much time's left on their contract, I mean. So Simon Moore, backup keeper, will eventually go. Traore, we have an option for another additional year. Was a great quality sign-in in terms of his age, experience. Does just enough to justify that. Gertruda, I think if we are able to buy him, you could instantly sell him for more, but he's just a versatile option. Center back, right back, defensive mid. Bunch of depth options there. Sarkin, if he signs his new contract, I know Spurs was after him for a homegrown player because he was in Spurs Academy. He's English. Fantastic. He's only 23. If he's on a new contract, he's going to be a nice replacement eventually for Ronaldo when he gets older. But Ronaldo could play to like age 45 at this point. He's so good at 32. Harrison Jones probably doesn't make the cut. He's probably gone soon. But like if you look past this, Luke 09, club legend. Poveda, barely even played in the championship. Won't get a new contract. Is on high wages, and that will inevitably go away. Amdallah Ba, one of my favorite Sunderland players of all time. I wish he would have performed to the level that I thought he was capable of. You got Xhaka in there, Isidore till 28, Ballard till 28, Mundell till 28. Mundell will get better. Milan's an interesting one. We called him back from his loan so he could make room for other people. He has the potential to be a baller. He just needed more playing time. Ahmed Abdullah, this guy was someone we got when we were last year in the championship on the final day of the summer window. Hasn't played much football yet, but kind of like Brabi, he just has insane hold-up play. He's a big, massive dude. Super excited. Mukiele's there till, what does that say, 29? Yeah, look at the 29s. Alderete till 29. Brabi until 29. If you look at their ages, too, a lot of them could probably play past that if they extended even further. But just the resale value. Enzo Lefebvre till 29. Human till 30. Elborg, our new keeper that we're going to replace Roofs with, he was a keeper that United was also interested in, and a bunch of other European teams were interested in. If Sunderland would have waited 6 months to the summer, this guy probably would have went for a few mil more than what we got him for, which right now I think was 3-4 mil. Then Roofs, obviously, fantastic. Noah Siddiqui, absolutely fantastic there till 2030. Talbi, brilliant. He'll only get better. Habib Diarra's coming back from injury and AFCON. He's essentially like a new player. But his just ability in that right center mid role to make just blazing runs is insane. His link-up play with Brabi up top. He's like a winger in and of himself, the way he bolts. And Gula will be excited. I can't wait to see some highlight reels from him the rest of the season. Chris Rigg has been given some chances. I don't know if he's cut out for the Prem yet. He's still only 18. He'll grow into it, but love him to death. Mayenda is going to be the one that I'm going to be teary-eyed if we end up selling eventually. I think he could make a Bundesliga move for 15, 20 mil. He definitely has the potential to get even better. He's only 20 still. Dude's such a baller, but it's hard to get into the Sunderland team at the moment. And then Jolinson, or however you say that name, Tabi. Talbi and Tabi on the wings. He's going to be an exciting one. His ball striking ability is crazy. He reminds me a lot of Ahmad. If you guys watch Ahmad play, he's like a mini version of Ahmad. But yeah. Predictions for next season build on this one. If we finish in the Europe spot, finish around a European spot next year too. The main thing for me next season is going to be, how do you react to losing players? And then off of that, anything's a bonus. But there was an Arsenal fan who was saying, if Sunderland got Conference League, he thinks Sunderland would be good enough to potentially win Conference League. What were the Conference League teams last year? And I'm trying to think of the quality of competition. That could be cool. Do I think they'll actually get Conference League? I don't know. I think Sunderland right now will have a difficult rest of the season. It'll be good, but it'll be difficult. Do Sunderland have a sister club? So our owner is best friends with Dembele. Our owner's French. He's a French billionaire. His dad used to be the owner of Marseille back in the day, ages ago. So they're still kind of like family friends with the Marseille people. I don't think there's like a partner club though. and he hasn't shown interest in. I think he still has like very low stake in the club, Marseille. But I don't think it's going to be a thing where you see like Mason Greenwood making a return to the Prem. Cole Palmer, let's go. W. Swiss French, oh, same thing. Yeah, I've heard of him before. What'd you do if Saudi bought the club? I don't think it ever would. It's like directly against the direction they've been going. Like, Sunderland has a poor history with ownership where it's taken a lot to trust owners. And even in, like, the quote-unquote 5-year plan that Sunderland had to get back to the Prem, there's questions at every level of that. On 850k, I don't have any more rares and non-rares. What do I do to start doing League SBCs again? Is it worth it with coins? How many runs have you done today? And are you saving any packs? Yeah, I gotta head out too. I'm just gonna answer his question quick before I go. Have a good night, buddy. Cold. Let's go, W. Alright, I'm not seeing a response, so I'll just kind of do general. So, do your daily bronze, silver, gold, all the daily stuff, 83 10s, 86 2s, winter provisions, all that stuff. If you're doing those and constantly buying out the Pro League Portuguese League, you're going to constantly be making profit for those first 5 to 10 runs. As you continue opening those League SBC packs at the premium, you can put a lot of those cards right back in, which will make you even more runs, and you're making even more coins. Doing that even without walkouts, you're probably stacking consumables. If you're at that point and you still have 850k, at that point, if you constantly are packing things and you're constantly moving through things, feel free to keep opening packs and constantly supplying in other areas. For me, I'm to the point where I have endless Prem La Liga, endless Bundesliga Serie A. If I ever needed more like League One or Eredivisie, I just buy a bunch of gold commons on bid or silver rares to keep it going on top of the Pro League Portuguese League. If you're calculating at every step, understanding how much you're making per run, how much you're spending, what you're saving, little things like that, it allows you to turn your brain off and be like, if I'm doing it in this general range for this price here, I can now afford more cards here. For example, if you're getting a bunch of Pro League and Portuguese League cards back, let's say they're up in price that day, and you're having to spend a few extra thousand than you did the day before. If you're getting a bunch of untradeable, that's thousands of coins you're saving per run. Those thousands of coins you could reinvest into like 5 gold commons from League One for 300 bids. Use less than 2k, get a bunch of that SBC done, make a bunch of coins still, and do that in bulk. But yeah, once you start taking it to like 25 to 50 times a day, at that point, you're probably going to start spending a little bit more each time. But at that point, you're in so much profit for the day. You're getting so much fodder. You're doing icon upgrades for tradable packs. You're doing campaigns for tradable packs. You're doing all these other things. Player picks for a bunch of walkouts for things I put into things I'll give you tradable packs. You'll get icons done. There'll be way more than just the coin value to it of the upfront. You'll have the back end coins that you'll also be making. Like all the pure profit we got from getting Messi done, the pure profit we get from doing these icon upgrades, and all that stuff too. So, long story short, if you ever feel like you're losing coins or you want to guarantee that you're making more coins back, you can do any sort of trading back on the side. You could limit your amount of runs a day and kind of start building up for the next day. If you wanted to do like 10 to 25 is probably an ideal range for most people. Start at like 5 to 10 a day from your dailies. Then from there, scale more closer to 25. Once you really get grinding, the 25 to 50 range is more of the degenerate mode, where most people don't want to do that every single day, even if they could. Realistically, you might want to build that during the weekends to maybe set you up for 25 a day max during the week. Like, for example, today, I spammed a bunch more League SBC runs to get a bunch more gold rare dupes, not to put back into League SBCs, but to make a bunch more player picks, to then get us a bunch more fodder dupe storage to do more icon SBCs and to do more winter provisions for the next day. So, like, if I went into my club, which was barren before, in terms of my dupe storage of high ends, we got rid of most of it. We are now back to out of the 68. Ton of walkouts, a ton of future star cards, informs galore, 84s, 83s. We're going to be able, with our dupe storage alone, to take care of a lot of those dailies. But on top of that, we got so many more future cards in the club. Our walkouts are back to a crazy number as well, so we're good there. In terms of like 85s for provisions, we have enough to do a few runs, but we'll keep getting more. Yeah, I could probably do another 10 to 15 League SBC runs with all the stuff we put in our club too. I lose coins when I have to buy the League One and Bundesliga. If you're calculating it correctly, you're probably overspending when you don't have to. How many runs in a day are you? I got to head out, so we got to answer this quickly. If you're doing like 5 to 10 runs a day, you really shouldn't need those Bundesliga and Serie A ones consistently. If you're doing higher than that, it might inevitably be an additional cost, but you're making so much profit in those first 5 to 10 runs with all the other things that you can start paying for some of the Bundesliga and Serie A. But even if that's the case, you're probably overkill with Bundesliga. Do a bunch of 150 silver common bidding and mix those in with the golds you're using. Very cheap way to make that stretch further. League One Eredivisie, same thing. Get a bunch of silvers in there, get a bunch of gold commons, mix those in with your untradables where you're spending less than the pack's even worth of tradable value. You're making coins every single run guaranteed. Make that stretch further. Yeah, most people can do 5 to 10 runs easily a day for pure profit. After that, pushing 25 to 50. Still pure profit for a lot of it, especially when the Pro League, Portuguese League prices are cheaper. But as they get more and more expensive, you have less and less slack in those other areas. But if you're grinding enough, if you're doing it the ways we recommend, if you follow our grind method from the grind playlist of where we calculate the cost when things were 1,000 per Pro League, Portuguese League card, how you could still do it for profit, pure profit then 5 to 10 times a day. If you take that math and apply it to the way you're doing it now, the way I would start viewing it is when prices are extremely cheap, like 250 to 300 for the Pro League, Portuguese League cards, inevitably those prices rebound. If you're doing a bunch of options for those cheaper prices, average that out with your more expensive ones. The goal is to not stop doing League SBCs one day because they're up 200 coins a piece. If you're used to them being 250 to 300, they're now 500 to 600. Don't say, I'm not doing League SBCs anymore because it's not worth it anymore. They're doubled in price. Say, I did it for such a cheap price and I was making such insane coins, I can now average that out with the additional profit that I'm making to still do this for pure profit, but maybe the amount I'm able to do a day is not as much at this point. Or maybe you fluctuate trade more with the club stocks that you're doing. And you wait for those lower prices again, put hundreds upon hundreds in your club, and if they inevitably go back up, you do 25 to 50 runs at those extremely cheap prices, and or do 25 runs and sell everything else for double the coins. But yeah, take it easy, guys. Gotta go. God bless. Peace.